All right, so I want to talk about the software that we use to manage our customer base. Now, this software is the remote access slash remote management tool that we use to handle all the updates, patches, checks, and everything in a very automated fashion. Now, I've narrowed it down, blurred out some of the clients, and narrowed it down to a special use case I set up for a computer in the office. Now, so this is the like a drill down of the dashboard. We have a larger dashboard where we look at everything as groups. And one of the things we do is in the goal of automation, people ask, how do you handle lots of computers with a smaller staff? Well, we do so with a lot of automation technology. I've always looked at IT people a little bit different because most people are going, oh no, automation may cost us a job. And we're always like, how can we automate and make things easier and easier? This is one of those tools that we do this with. So every day, this is doing checks. Every 15 minutes, actually, it's keeping an eye on the physical hard drive health for this hard drive. If there's any smart status failures, failed logins, making sure the managed antivirus is up to date, all the services are running for different service check, monitoring protection, any policies, changes, all that. It also has a series of tasks. I have a couple tasks set up for the what we call risk intelligence. This is some more analysis that we can do, so we can actually remotely do PCI scanning and data breach risk scanning. It keeps an eye on patches, and right now it has what they call an outage that I said, okay, go ahead and update this. It just lets me know that there was a vulnerability. The vulnerability was, and this was an old image, and today is the 22nd, and you can see all these were installed. I purposely loaded the agent with the old image of Windows 7, and it does a vulnerability assessment. It says, here's all the things that need to be updated. I went ahead and updated and rebooted. It just installed 271 updates for this, and then it also found that there was a Java runtime update. Now, this is a basic Windows 7 machine. Like I said, it's an older image, but I wanted to give you an idea that it will go through and patch all the things it finds on there. Now, the other thing it's doing is active discovery, automated tasks, dashboard controls, event-driven tasks. It's going to log the hardware details. It will go through, and this is some of those little details of different critical events that may have been found, and lets you drill down into any one of these. It also lets you get lists for assets. So we have the hardware. It tells me, and this is a virtual box. This is a virtual machine set up just for the demonstration here. It tells me, generic non-PNP monitor. It gives me much better detail with the other computers. Matter of fact, with a lot of them, it gives me the serial numbers, and in the case of Dell's, I even get all the service tag numbers pulled in. So we have all the information. We can look up warranties and all that with our client computers. It also gives me software drill downs. So it gives me software, and if a client installs a new piece of software, I can also, just like I did here, instead of just sorting by the software name, I have it sorted by time and date. It helps us quickly find when someone installs a new application and needs help with it. So all that being said, this all gets loaded really simply on the computer with a single executable. So when we onboard a new client, we just take and pass what we call the agent. So we build an agent based on the customer profile, and it's one of the tools here. So we actually are we download an agent, or a site installation package they call it, just for that client, and then it groups all those clients together under that category for us. We sometimes do this remotely when we onboard them, but that's what gets us into the whole management side, where we get to watch all the computers. Now, this is also managing all the antiviruses, and they handle the licenses for us. So the way the remote management software works with Mac, this is with Mac's remote management, is what I really like, is all the licenses, everything per workstation are handled internally for them, including their web protection. So the web protection, websites this went to, categories of websites that it went to, and different actions, including just dumping these out to a list, so we can say, okay, what websites did this person go to, and we can do some analysis. It also, because it's doing web filtering, it blocks a lot of the bad sites, and we can get restrictive, so we can create a policy on a per client basis. We have clients that say, I need a policy to really narrow this down and say, I only want these websites that they can open, and lock everything down. We can do real restrictive policies on there, and we can generate reports based on those policies, so we can understand who's violating them. And they get a notice that if a website's blocked, that they can contact us to unblock the website. Usually when they go to a website that was blocked, it was blocked for a reason, and they do not call us, and they know they shouldn't have been on that website. But we can do those type of management reports, so they can get an idea of where people have been wandering around to. Now, like I said, this is all on a dashboard. This one's in yellow. This is another computer we have just for demo set up. I'm not going to get into that one right now, but it's got some errors because it's turned off. We actually get notices when these computers were turned on and off, and anything else. The other side we can do is when we're doing this, it allows us to see inside the network. Each computer becomes an agent within that network, and it allows you to see the other connected history, activities, devices, which computers, and we only have one set up internally on this particular side of the network, but it tells you what these devices discovered. That includes like our HP printers that it found on our network. So it's kind of neat. It can find, different. These ones are, I'm sorry, not printers. Those are more computers. It will find the printers eventually. I think we have one on this side of the network that it'll pop up. I only started scanning this a little while ago. But it kind of gives you the, connected device, which ones it's seen, which ones are offline because it's seen them before, and then it didn't see them again. But it kind of gives us more insight. So when this is set up at a client, all the computers kind of work together to help build us a list of different devices on our network and keep mapping it for us. Now, the other things we do is we have the ability to take control through TeamViewer by clicking this, and we can just grab remote access to that particular computer. So when people call us with problems, we know which computer, we know the name of the computer, which we have a process by which we put the names on the front of all the computers. So when the client calls us, they know which computer they're calling us about, desktop 23, whichever one it is. Obviously, because it's internal, we just called this one Tom's PC. So this is the other nice feature that comes from that is when they say they're having a problem, we can run remote background on it. Put my password in. And it's going to pull up the remote background console. This allows us to get to the back-end processes and see services running on the computer and give us remote process control on the computer, so I can actually start and stop services without actually having to log in. And I'll give you an example. I'm going to drag the window over here. This is the Windows 7 machine running an agent. So we'll see down here at the bottom, if they have this, they can click this to open up our website, the little help thing. It shows TeamViewer running, it shows the web protection running, and it shows the managed antivirus running. And let's pop open Notepad. So here's Notepad opened up on there. Now this is remotely, I'm not connected remotely to this, I'm just using the remote background service. So we go through here and we look for Notepad, which is right there. We just end the process, are you sure? And it closes it. This is really handy when someone has some type of weird pop-up or something like that. You just want to force them out of it. If they say, oh no, I got something, and somehow they manage to get stuck in that without even logging in, you can just force close different things that are running in the background, and it does help. Now, the system does a great job of blocking most all those websites that would have kind of crappy ads or pop-ups. Occasionally one gets through, and it's just really handy. I can go grab and just shut down Chrome on them without even taking remote access. And if there's a problem with the computer, we just had one the other day that had some strange problem after we loaded it that they had managed to get McAfee installed. I don't know how, but it partially installed, and I don't know why someone tried to run it, but it was causing it to lock up and go in cause some problems. We go to remote process control and boom, delete it, log in, fix it, no problem. It's kind of nice because it gives you that back end control and you can kind of immediately get something done. Now, for here, if you want to delete files or whatever, you have command line access to execute things. And you can just say, okay, there's a whole lot of temp files, and we can say, let's just delete all these temp files. And they're gone. It's still got some subfolders, but you kind of get the idea that it gives us this easy back-end access without actually having to take any remote access. And being able to do that gives you the ability to just fix a problem for a client, one, fast, two, not with disrupting their work. They can keep working. You just know that the printer spooler became stopped. I can just restart the printer spooler service, clear out the print spool, and away we go. Now, that gets even more interesting for me if I want to do it as an automated task. I can run these automated tasks, or we can add more automated tasks, which include different running process lists, service control options, SQL queries if there's a server. I can just say clean up the log files on this computer because they're going to have a bunch of log or event, or I want to defrag the hard drive. Next. And then I can say which drive, give it a name, force, and you get the idea. It'll let me set it up on a schedule. So we defrag it. Do I want it once per day, once per month, on check failure, or just manually run it? Manually run it leaves it in here, and then I can just right click and run it at will. So this allows me to create more tasks for the machine to do, or more checks. So overall, this system makes our life very easy. Now, any check I can run, I can also run on an entire site. So instead of just running it on this one computer, I can say I need all the computers to do this. This also gives me the ability to create an automated task, for example, because if I need to deploy software on a group of computers or I want to load something, you can build a script in a queue to even pull a file from a website, download and run it on all the computers at once. So you can actually create the script, load the file where you need to, put it on there, and create an automated task at a certain time to load a file. For example, some, maybe special software that client needs. When, once again, did it without connecting to their computers, makes life a lot easier. You can also just have it download the file and go into the back end and kick off an installer with whatever parameters you want per computer at your convenience. This is just a really powerful tool that we have that helps us automate all the processes that go into managing customer computers. This also, because it allows us in bulk to do it, allows us to save them money on both sides. We're not spending as much time managing it because the software manages and only kicks out the exceptions to us. So if I want to know how all the hard drives are doing, I don't have to log in every computer and check the hard drive status. It's checking the hard drive status. It's checking the smart status. One of the nice things too, these asset reports for software and hardware are summarized for every client. So before I go in for a meeting with the client, it's going to tell me all their machines, what's on them. It'll create a nice summary and say you have this many computers at this processor speed, this many have this much memory. It'll even tell me how many mice they have installed on all the computers. The same thing when you have to deal with, hey, how many computers do we have AutoCAD installed on? Well, you can summarize all their software installs with the asset reports per site. And I'll say, well, here's a list. Here's all the computers that also have this software installed. So our clients on this service, they get really good service from us because we can summarize everything for them. It helps them manage all their inventory, and it helps us manage all the data that we have. So, once you get hundreds of computers on this, it becomes hard if you think about supporting hundreds of computers without a tool like this and being able to quickly have remote access to them. Now, we do have the remote access, but we actually still prefer our Screen Connect sessions. We do like TeamViewer that has it, and they've just offered a new one called MSP Anywhere, which we're kind of exploring. It's a new feature they're offering with this. But we've just really happy with Screen Connect because it does so many of the same things without having to be in this interface. We just really like the way Screen Connect and the toolboxes are set up on it. We have a self-hosted version of that, so that's mostly how we do our remote support is through Screen Connect. It's just a great program. I've done a review on it. You can find in my videos. But like I said, I just want to give an overview. I kind of joke this how we make the magic happen and showing just how these things run. It's also just a neat tool to be able to look at everything all the time and make sure all of our clients are up and running with confidence and managing all that. So that's my quick overview for the Max Remote. Just wanted to give kind of a this is something I never really got a lot of from some of the other vendors. They always want to just do a webinar with me, and I wanted to show people this is what it looks like. I don't make any money recommending them, but I've been happy with the software and it's been working really well for me. So I just want to make a video and share it with some other technicians who have asked me the question, how do you like it? This is my reply. This is my video of how it works for us. And we've been using it now for pushing 2 years. The company's been through some changes, but I'm overall pretty happy with them. And in terms of functionality, it works quite well. So that's my review. If you like my content here, like and subscribe. Thanks.